Welcome to the Build Your Own Business podcast. My name is Lauren Lomsdale, and I am a serial entrepreneur who has started, scaled, and grown several businesses over the past 12 years. And together with my husband, we have helped hundreds of clients do the same. This podcast is for those small business dreamers who are wanting to take the leap into starting their very own business, as well as those business owners who have big dreams of scaling their business. We provide step-by-step how-to guidance, discuss growing pains in your business, and give real-life business lessons and advice that you can apply to your own business. So BYOB and pull up a seat because we are going to build your business. Hey everyone, Lauren Lomsdale from the Startup Collective here, and today I'm doing a podcast episode that I wasn't originally planning on doing, but I think is really important to talk about for those of our small business dreamers who may be thinking about, now is the time to start a business. With all of the economic turmoil that we're seeing and all of the effects it has on businesses, not only large scale when we talk about the tariffs, but also small scale and trickle down effects when we talk about people not being able to purchase as many things or not having the capital to make those purchases, what that does to our trickle down effect to our own small business. And that can be a scary time for us to really start to consider, should I be starting a business right now? Should I be waiting? Is now the best time? And so today we're going to be talking about why I believe now in the economic downturn is the best time to start a business. I know it seems completely counterintuitive to start a business when it feels like everything around you is falling apart. So we not only have the tariffs, which are affecting small business owners or potentially could affect small business owners who produce their products outside of the United States, but we also have the stock market that's crashing and investments and people's capital going down the drain. And you have this effect where if tariffs go into place, things are going to cost more. People will not be able to purchase them as freely because they cost more. And now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, if people are losing their jobs because of Doge cuts and prices are increasing, they're never going to buy my service or my product. And that sounds really counterintuitive to what I'm telling you, right? Like that. Yes, all of those things are true, but now is the best time to start your business. Yeah, it sounds completely insane, but I'm going to talk to you why about it's not insane and why now is the best time to do this. If you guys follow anybody in the stock market or you invest in the stock market yourself or you're interested in investments, you know that the best time to invest in the stock market is when it's down. And this is the same as what it looks like for small businesses. The best time to get started is when everything around you is down, because when things start to pick up, you'll already be on the ground running, ready to go when people are ready to purchase, are ready to buy when the economy goes back up. 100% of the time, the stock market rebounds, the economy rebounds, and we will get through this, whatever this looks like, in the next several months or maybe even years. And when we get to that point, if you've already started your business, you're already established, you're already up and running, you're going to be 10 steps ahead of the guy who waited till the economy started to go up again. So the first thing I want to talk about is a mindset shift. So most people will say, okay, the economy is going down. I need to pull back. I need to not do this thing. Or if you already have a business, already established in a business, you may be thinking this is the time where I need to pull back my capital, my resources, my investments. And some of that can be true. That can be the smarter thing to do for your business, depending on what it is, where you have your capital, where you have your investments. That could be the smarter thing for you to do, is to start to pull back a little bit. But entrepreneurs who lean in to this scarcity, to this downturn, are often the ones who find the opportunity. They're the ones who can start to see opportunity in this quiet time. These are the ones who start to think about what they can do for their business when the economy starts to boost up again. What can they look at within their own processes, with their own structure of their business that can be made better during this quiet time, during when they're not having customers roll in or clients roll in? What can they do to make their business better? And that's the same for small business owners who are brand new to creating small business, or small business dreamers who are brand new to this. This quiet time allows you to really reflect on how you can build this business in the way you want to build it, how you can really thrive during this time of constraint. Constraint forces innovation. Constraint requires you to look at different ways to build your business than maybe you would have done in a different time. It allows you to have that creativity start to build, start to flow, because not only is your mind quiet because you don't have all of these things coming in you at once when business is booming and crazy and things are thriving all of the time, you have the quiet to sit back and say, okay, this is what it looks like now. This is where people are now. How can I serve them now? And how can I establish myself in this time now to give me the potential to grow into something even larger when business starts to increase again? Every established business owner will tell you that business ebbs and flows. This is not the first time my business itself has gone through a recession. Luckily, we haven't been in business that long, but the last recession we kind of experienced, we were kind of establishing ourselves on the upswing of the recession. And so I wasn't in this total economic downturn like we're seeing now. It was post COVID. Things were just starting to kind of pick back up again, and businesses were starting to reach out for what I do as a marketing firm owner, starting to have this capital, but it was still a point where people were really hesitant. Um, but any established business owner can tell you, even outside of economic recessions, you are going to have times when your business has a downturn, where you either feel like you can't find clients, aren't getting customers, and things feel like things are failing, and you are going to question your business, you are going to question yourself, you are going to question whether this is the beginning of the end. You are going to probably consider shutting everything down and throwing your hands up in the air and saying, I can't do this anymore, or this isn't working. And that can be really daunting to feel that way. But there are a few things that I do when my business is kind of on a slower point that I can start thinking, that I start to do, that's actionable, that helps me kind of get past that point. So the first thing I do, whether I'm a brand new business or launching a new business or I'm already established, is to look and see how I can pivot to what is going on with the world or my audience or the market or whatever's going on, right? Whether it's my target market, do we have something going on within my target market audience that is a shift? Do we have something going on in the world that is a shift? Do we have something going on in my particular niche that's a shift? And looking at that and saying, okay, how can I pivot my business to meet the needs of where my target market audience is now? Even if you are a new business owner, what your business dream has been or what you have started to do may need to shift because of what things look like right now. So the first thing I do is I look inward and I say, okay, where can we shift? What can we do different to meet the needs of my target market, my audience, whoever it is? This may be something like a discount. If this is an economic downturn, you may be considering, do I offer a discount? Do I offer any package type services? Do I, include something that my target market audience might need, or want to help them feel more comfortable with establishing services or buying this product or coming into my store? What can we do to really make our target audience feel seen in this shift, whatever it is, the change that is happening? The other thing, and I'm currently going through a downturn in my client base. I'm feeling the trickle effects of my own clients dealing with the tariffs, my own clients dealing with higher prices or losing investments or going down to one income because of job cuts, and what that looks like for their business. And so I can tell you that this mindset shift is real. It is really hard to not look at your business, yourself, as feeling like you don't know what you're doing, or your business is failing, or maybe you're not as good as what you thought you were. And that's why all of this is happening. But when you start to look at it from the perspective of your customers or your clients, what can I do for them? to shift in this way to meet their needs where they are right now. That's one way to kind of help establish your business, grow your business in that direction. The other thing that is really beneficial to these downtimes is to look internally into your own systems and processes. Whether this is something that you are an established business owner, it gives you the opportunity to look into your manufacturing, your automations, your production, your communications, your emails, your website, your all these things that we often put in the back burner because we can't focus on those little task oriented type of processes in our business because we're so busy with executing the business that we put those to the wayside. Now is the time where we can really start to look at those systems and processes and look at those little things that we often put on the back end. And as a new business owner, if you're just getting established, this is a time where you can really consider, how do I create these systems and processes in a sustainable way? When the economy is flourishing or business is flourishing and you start off and you hit it hard and things are crazy at the beginning, it's a great feeling, a great dopamine feeling. But when you're starting at this lower point of where people might not be purchasing, business doesn't feel like it's thriving, it really gives you an opportunity as a brand new business owner to set up these processes so that when things are thriving, you can roll with the thriving. You have the systems, the processes, the manufacturing, the email marketing, sales funnels, the website is high converting. You can do all of this in a very concise and what's the word I'm looking for? A very concise and deliberate way so that when business does start to pick up, you are ready to roll with it in a fast paced environment. Now, as an established business owner, this is oftentimes when I find myself thinking about how can I add another stream of income or where can I pivot my business to kind of go into a different direction. Established business owners also might be in a place where they're like, this is a great time to launch a new brand, a new business, a new stream of income. Whether this is a time where you can finally get those courses made that you've been wanting to do, start developing a new product, start that podcast, do a plethora of things that you have been putting on hold because business, you've been executing your business, you've been working in your business instead of growing it. This is a growth period for for an established business, whether it's growing within the business you already have or expanding your business into different areas that you've been wanting to do. That's what we're working on now over at our marketing firm and over on our course side for our virtual marketing assistant courses for military spouses. We're re-recording courses, we're recording advanced courses. We are focusing on how to grow the agency side of our marketing firm. We're focusing on I'm focusing on LinkedIn to reach more fractional CMO type of clients. This is a time where even though I feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm not getting any new clients, this is really hard, am I ever going to get new clients? Instead of thinking doomsday, I start thinking, all right, how can we shift? What can we look at new? Where can I focus my attention where I haven't been able to focus it in recent months or even in the past year or so because I've been executing my business and scaling my business. Now I need to pull back and look at the foundations of my business and reestablish it. It is a great time to do that as an established business owner. And it is a beautiful place to be as a brand new business owner because you can take the time to do that. You can take the time to really strategize the execution of your business before things start to pick up again. Okay, so outside of the mindset of like really thinking positively about this or how you can take this downturn time and instead of feeling doomsday about how your business isn't going to take off or how slow it is or how it's not growing or scaling the way you want it to, what are the real advantages of starting now? What can we look at and say, okay, you know what, this actually might be a good time? Like I said at the beginning of this episode, what investors will tell you in terms of the stock market and investing your capital into different areas of your portfolio is that the best time to invest is when it's down. And why that is because there are things that are cost less, and eventually those things will go up. So the cost will go up more, or your investments will increase. I don't know why it does that. It's like a weird little thing. Or your investments will increase. Depending, if we're talking about the stock market, your investments will increase. If we're talking about, production or manufacturing outside of the tariffs, this could be a lower cost. Venues could be lower, vendors could be lower, because we're all experiencing this hurt, right? And so when we are all experiencing this hurt and someone comes to us and says, we want to work with you, we're more likely to make concessions than if business is booming. And so as you look for vendors, as you look for team members or hiring or whatever it might be, you might be able to start a little bit lower than you would be able to do if we were in economic surplus. So all that being said, your startup costs might be a little bit lower. I don't know if you guys have seen on social media, but there are so many businesses who are saying, buy now, costs are going to go up, shipping's going to go up, all these things are going to go up with the tariffs. This is the same as I actually have a client who works in a product-based business, and she is offering, although the tariffs haven't come into effect yet for what she offers, she's offering that if people sign up with her product-based business, that the cost of the products she is creating for them, they'll basically be grandfathered into this lower cost. So startup costs can be lower right now, and they might increase as the tariffs come down, or as if the stock market continues to tumble, they may increase because people need to, make more money. But right now, like literally right now, could be a great time for you to really start establishing that business, because startup costs could be a little bit lower. People are offering more discounts. Freelancers are giving, lower rates because they need to find clients, and people are more open to partnerships and bartering. So when you have a business that maybe you're thinking about could have a potential for a collaboration or some sort of partnership, you may be able to do mutually exclusive trading of services or of products or of something, instead of a cost basis. You could be doing some sort of partnership or collaboration that's mutually beneficial to both of you. I didn't mean mutually exclusive, I meant mutually beneficial to both of you. And that can really help to not only increase your visibility if it's a collaboration, or increase or lower your startup costs, because you're able to create, sorry, my printer is turning itself off. Increase your visibility if it's some sort of collaboration, but also increase or lower your startup cost if it's a service or product that you need for your business to get established, and you have something you can offer them. Then that's a great way to kind of get yourself started, when otherwise they might be like, I'm not giving you this in exchange for a service with you. You have to pay me for this. So that's another kind of back end way to say, startup costs could be a little bit lower. Talking about, those people who are saying, oh, tariffs are going up, costs are going to go up, buy now, you're going to find that there's less competition there could be less competition in your space. As businesses start to really feel these effects, they may be pulling back in their marketing. They may be pulling back in their products and services. And you may be able to step in and say, hey, I'm this new person coming in, this new business coming in, this new product coming in. I'm able to do this at a lower cost because I don't have as much capital, as much investment, as much inventory. I'm able to do this for you at a lower cost than what you would be paying if you stay with this person. Like here, I'm a viable option for you. So you're probably going to have people pulling back from their businesses, pulling back from their product, services, and offerings, and you may be able to step in and take their place. And this last one is a little bit of a shift in terms of the mentality of being a startup or being an established business, is that with some of the things like the Doge cuts, you have a lot of people looking for flexible work opportunities. So if you are looking to establish team members, or you need that business grow, that those team members to help grow your business, This may not be the case for many small business dreamers where most of us start as solo entrepreneurs. But if you are in a place for your business where you need assistance, you need help, this is where you might be able to find them. These are skilled people who are dedicated and very much willing to find flexible work opportunities or work opportunities in general, that you may find great talent where you might otherwise not have found them or been able to afford them. And so this is a great time for a startup to really start establishing that side of their business if that's something that they are looking to do and include in their business. We live in such a great time of the digital age and technology, that starting a business can be relatively low cost depending on what type of business it is. Of course, there's product based businesses where you have manufacturing and production and things like that that can increase the cost of starting this business. But for some of the other things that you need, whether it's a storefront or a platform for your services, you can do this relatively cheap online to start your storefront. You don't have to have a brick and mortar store that you need to rent and lease the space out anymore. You don't have to have an office for people to go to. We can do this all online, not all, but a lot of this stuff online versus being in an establishment. So that is another great positive place to be with where we are in society today, is that we can do a lot of businesses virtually, online, e-commerce, and some of these skills are really available for you to learn online. In fact, we have the Startup Collective courses that teach you product based, service based, or creative based businesses how to establish your businesses online. And these courses are video based courses that teach you step by step how to make your website, how to do your email marketing, how to take product and brand photos, what you should be doing for those photos. We talk about search engine optimization and how to do your social media and how to use AI and all of these things to help you establish your business using the tools at hand. And during this economic downturn, what a great time for you to sit and learn and establish your business on the online side. And so that when things start to flourish again, you already have that website, you already have that social platform that you have established, you already have connections and networking that you have made through the growth of your business from this startup phase, that you are already hitting the ground running when most people are just thinking about getting started. Speaking of the digital space, and when we talk about what we just talked about with team members and hiring and having people who are readily available, this falls into the space of virtual assistants. No longer do you have to have a team member who is sitting in an office next to you to run your business. You can have a virtual assistant who can handle admin, who can handle bookkeeping, who can handle your social media, who can handle your email marketing, and even your website design. You can get that done, or website edits, or whatever you're looking to do, through an affordable freelance virtual assistant. You're not paying payroll and taxes. You're not paying any employee taxes or anything like that, or medical, dental, 401k. You can have a 1099, a freelancer who can come in and help you with these things virtually at a much more affordable rate in during this, not only during the economic downturn, but just in general in this digital age of where we are in society. Now, I think the big takeaway from this really is not necessarily that things cost less or it's easier to start a business in an economic downturn. It definitely is not easier. And given where we are in the economy, things could very well not cost less. There are some things that are going to go up in price if the tariffs are enacted, that are going to make it cost be a little bit more, especially for product based businesses, to establish their business. But the big thing that I think is the big takeaway from this is that if you are starting your business in a time when most people are pulling back or most people are too scared to do it, you are going to be 10 steps ahead of the next guy. You are going to have a business that not only has an online presence with a website and has uh, networking and collaborations and systems and processes in place and all of these different things ready to go. And honestly, quite hugely, a social platform that is already established and building an audience and already has people interested, you are going to be 10 steps ahead of the guy who said, I can't do this right now. The economy's too scary. I need to wait until things start to pick up. You're already there, man. You've already crossed that finish line before they have even begun to think about starting the race. Okay, so let's do a couple quick mindset shifts, right? So I'm going to give you some of the most common things that I think about when my business feels like it's in a downturn, when whether it's the economy or it's just one of those regular ebb and flows of business. Some of the things that I think about and how I shift my mindset to something else so that I can continue on working on my business, growing my business, and staying positive in my business. So the first one that comes to mind, which most small business owners can tell you probably is a daily occurrence, is what if I fail, or what if this fails? That probably crosses my mind at least once a week. And when it's a downturn in the business or a slow time in the business, it's like every day is what if this is the beginning of the end and everything goes away? What I can tell you from that is that a couple things, I guess. One is that failure really is a choice. There are some businesses that I can say, yes, a business fails, the capital runs out, the production runs out, the manufacturing capital runs out, whatever that might be. Yes, that is something else. That part of the business fails. But you as an entrepreneur, as somebody who wants to be a small business owner or a big business owner, your failure is only you deciding, I'm not doing this anymore. That's really the failure. So for me, as a service-based business owner, really rings true, because my failure of my business or my failure of being an entrepreneur is distinctly a choice. I have to say, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to become another cog in the wheel at some corporation instead, or not work, or whatever the decision is. And that really is a choice. So when I think to myself, what if this fails? Quite literally, I think to myself, so what? Like, I know that's easier said than done, right? Like, it's a business failing and can be a huge deal, especially when you're talking about multi-million-dollar corporations or something like that. But what I say to myself is, so what? I'll do something new. I'll start a new business. I'll think of something else. I'm not going to be such a complete failure that I'm not going to be able to revive myself from this. So as you are starting this new business or considering starting this new business, I think the best thing you can think to yourself is, all right, if this doesn't work, I'm going to try something else. Thing I can tell you from talking with other business owners or other entrepreneurs or small business dreamers, especially I have a group here in Okinawa, Japan, of small business dreamers, military spouse small business dreamers and owners, but a lot of dreamers in our group. And one of the questions that comes up is like, well, I don't have the money for this. And that may be true. You may not have capital to start the business you were thinking about, but it's free to establish a social profile. It's free to talk to people about what you want to do or what you like to do or what your business is going to be. And it's not necessarily free, but it's kind of cheap to start a website. And all of these things can be done without having that business up and running and established. And you can start the process of networking and building your community and building the buzz behind your business. And I can tell you, especially from a marketing perspective, that having a community is the number one way to build your business. People who look at you or your business or your product or your service and say, I need that, I want that, I have to have it to make my life look like XYZ. That's the best way to do it. And it doesn't cost anything to build a community. So even though you may not feel like you have the capital, you do have things at your disposal that you can be doing during this economic downturn, especially if you've lost your job because of Doge or another reason, or your investments are going down in the stock market and you just feel like you don't have the money to put towards it. There are things you can be doing to start your business. or to grow or to scale or to learn about different processes in your business, whether that's taking courses or learning AI or anything to really get you established to be ahead of the person who's waiting until your business, until the economy takes off. Now, the biggest feeling, the biggest thought that happens in starting a new brand or a new business is feeling overwhelmed by the process. I talked about this in my very first episode with the Startup Collective of being a small business dreamer and thinking you have this great idea, but then it's like, well, what now? And there are so many different things for you to have to think about. How do I do a website? How do I do email marketing? What is email marketing? How do I do social media? What social profile should I be on? How do I create the social content? How do I record reels? How do I edit reels? All of these things are in place when you're establishing your business. And on top of, how do I get this product manufactured? What materials do I use? How do I contact a shipping company? How do I get shipping set up? What boxes do I use? How do I print labels? It is different for every business, right? And you could be a hairstylist, you could need a chair. Do I do this in my house? Do I go to people's houses? Do I need to rent a chair at a salon? Whatever you are that you are doing for your business, there are so many things that you have to get done or you have to consider, and it can feel so stinking overwhelming. And that is when things like the Startup Collective can come in and help you, because we actually teach you how to do these things without you having to think about it. We teach you how to do your website without you having to research what website platform to use, how to build on this website platform, how to add products, how to add services, how to connect payment. You don't have to figure it out on your own. We can help you do that. Other great places to go, although it's archaic, is Facebook. There are a ton of networking and small business groups on Facebook that can really people can point you into the right direction of exactly what you're looking for, or the clients you're looking for, or even your customers. So I would encourage you, if you are in a place of feeling overwhelmed, is to go back and listen to that first episode. We really walk you through what you can do as a small business dreamer to kind of bring that idea to execution, walking in the customer's shoes, thinking about what you want the customer journey to be like. That's exactly what I just did. I'm building a brand, taking this downtime to build a whole new brand and establish myself in a space for when the economy does boost up again. And that's exactly what I did. I sat with Loom just like this and talked through what I want the customer journey to be. I had Loom make notes for me with the transcript, and I took that, and now it's the beginning stages of my, not only my business plan, but the services I'm going to offer, how I'm going to execute customer management, client management, and all of these things, because I just sat there and I talked it through about how my customer would experience it. That's what we talked about in that first episode. So I highly encourage you to go back and listening to episode 1, and kind of establishing that. And that can help you start to not feel as overwhelmed, because it really helps you break down the little tiny things that you need to be doing. And you can take step 1, step 2, step 3, and so on. And speaking of actionable steps, let's talk now about 3 things you can do this week to get your business started. One is exactly what I just talked about: writing out your business idea, who it helps, and how it's going to work. Like I said, I highly recommend you getting something like Loom. It is free for the first 5 minutes, and then the video ends, so you might have to do it a couple times. But plugging it into ChatGPT, that transcript into ChatGPT, and saying, make notes for me, and it will create concise notes for you. You're going to have to go back and edit and add the human touch to it, but this will really get you established into, how is this business going to work? What do I need to do to get this started? What's my first step? And like I talk about in that episode, I really recommend you looking at the customer experience, whether it is a service-based, creative-based, like a hairstylist or photographer, or a product-based business. What do you want that customer journey to look like? Number 2 is another free option, does not cost you any money, is to start establishing yourself online. A social profile, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Pinterest. These are all places, Facebook. These are all places you can be to start establishing your community, what your business is going to provide, what you're hoping to do. And right now it is so prominent in social media to share your actual journey, to share your actual story from beginning to all of the pitfalls in between, that this can really help to grow your business. In fact, I'm doing it myself over on my Instagram channel at Lauren Lonsdale Official, talking about this new brand that I'm building and bringing my audience, my very, very tiny audience, with me on this journey to building this brand new brand, launching this brand new business, because the journey is really important to people, especially right now in terms of marketing trends. That is like the best place to be. Number 3 for this week, an actionable step you can take is to learn a skill that can help you in your business. Whether this is to take a course in web design, or whether it's to learn about what email marketing is, or maybe even how to use AI or Canva to create graphics and things like that. This could be a course on, like a master class on product photography. Anything like that could really help you to establish your business and learn a new skill that brings you one step closer to making your dream a reality. So some key takeaways from today's episode really is you starting your business when other people are too afraid to do it is going to put you ahead of them tenfold when the economy starts to boost back up again. And even outside of this economic downturn, when we talk about a downfall in your business where things are slow, the easiest thing to do is to say, oh my gosh, this is the beginning of the end. Might as well just give up now. Nobody thinks I'm good enough. My product's not good enough. Nobody likes it, whatever it is, right? That's the easy thing to do. The hard thing to do is to say, all right, this sucks. I don't like this. This is uncomfortable and a little bit scary, but what can I do to continue the growth of my business? Or what can I do to establish this new arm of my business or this new brand? Because you're going to experience this again, right? So this episode is more about the economic downturn, but really this is going to happen at some point in your business again. I would put money on it. The key takeaway for you is that you continuing to grow or starting or establishing your business or scaling your business wherever you are will put you 10 steps ahead of the guy that said, this is too scary, I can't do this right now, or stops or freezes or doesn't do anything to advance their business. So that really is this is the best time to do it, because you have so much opportunity to catapult yourself in front of the people who either pulled back, stopped, or didn't start. And there's never a perfect time to start a business, never. But I can tell you, starting your business will bring you so much further than not starting it, even if it's messy or difficult or overwhelming, or you look back in 3 years at your old videos or pictures and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. That's probably going to be you, because you can start messy. You don't have to start perfect. You can start without having everything in place. And that will put you ahead of the person who didn't start and in front of the people who did start and are stopping, because the world seems kind of scary right now. So there's a few places that you guys can go to follow along, either with our journey of creating a brand new business, to take courses to help you start your business, or even grow and scale it. First place is our Facebook group. We have a free Facebook group where I go in weekly and talk about different areas of business. It could be technical stuff, what website platform to use. It could be business related stuff, marketing, growth, scaling. We talk about all sorts of stuff. And that is going to be in our show notes below. It's called the Startup Collective. And you can join that Facebook group completely for free, talk with other business owners, ask questions, and watch those live videos. They're not actually live anymore. We changed it because Facebook's deleting live videos. They're actually recorded Loom videos. And I'm in Japan, so most people are not there live anyways. But these videos are up every week for you to kind of just listen and talk and learn a new skill, or even just a new tactic for marketing, or things that are changing in the business atmosphere. Of course, we have the Startup Collective courses, which we are still in our pre-launch phase, development phase of those, but you are welcome to sign up with our waitlist so that when we do launch, you can start establishing your business without all of the overwhelm. We teach you how to do your website, your email marketing, your simple branding, your search engine optimization, your social platforms, taking brand photos. We teach it all to you depending on what business you have. So it's connected right to you. You're going to learn a platform that is well established for your type of business, whether you're product, service, or creative based business. And of course, you guys can always reach out to me at Lauren Lonsdale Official on Instagram. Send me a DM about what your business idea is, what you've been dreaming about, and I can help you get established and started and kind of thinking through where you need to go next. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much again for listening over at the Startup Collective with me, Lauren Lonsdale. We are here to help you start, grow, and scale your very own business. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope we gave you some valuable insight into building and growing your own business. Head over to the Startup Collective to learn more about building your business from the ground up. We teach you how to get started in your business to include designing a high converting website, creating your email marketing, growing your audience and customer base through social media and digital marketing, and even business photography and more. If you're in the scaling phase of your business, join our Grow Your Own Business group coaching. We will give you weekly tasks and accountability in growing your business the right way, and we actually show you how to do it. Visit us at thestartupcollective.co today and follow us on Instagram at The Startup Collective. Dream, start, build, and grow. See you next time.